This is an open letter to the young people of Hong Kong. First of all, I want to ask why? Why all this smoke and fire, anger and violence? Were your lives before the so-called protests or riots really so dismal? You've been living in one of the richest cities on earth. Even according to Western evaluations, Hong Kong has one of the highest freedom indexes, higher than that of most of Western countries. I've witnessed firsthand the fate of countries that have been occupied and then thoroughly destroyed by the United States and the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Afghanistan and Syria, Iraq and Colombia, to name just a few. I've seen millions of ruined lives in nations where the West overthrew left-wing governments and then injected fascism, places like Indonesia in 1965 and Chile in 1973. In Hong Kong, I see you waving flags of the US. You want that country to save you from China, from your own nation in essence. I've read a translation of your school curriculum. It smears China and it glorifies the West. Were you told ever that in the name of that flag, consisting of the stars and stripes, tens of millions of people worldwide were murdered, democracies raped, and freedom of expression horrendously oppressed? Or are you reading only what is brought to you by Reuters and other Western press agencies? Were you told this? Do you realize it? When you wave these flags, when your leaders are taking bribes from the US and the EU establishment, do you ever think what kind of money you are touching? Do you ever consider that this money is soaked in blood? I saw several of you demanding independence from China. I even witnessed some of you calling China a terrorist state. Have you ever seriously compared the Chinese political system to that so-called democracy of the West? Let me give you a simple quiz. In the last decades, how many countries have been attacked by China, and how many by the West? Just do a simple calculation, please. It is so simple, so clear. How many countries have been bombed to the ground and thoroughly ruined by China, and how many by the West? In the last 2 decades, China has lifted up hundreds of millions out of poverty. In the West, the governments have buried billions of people in misery in all their colonies. To conclude this letter, let me say what has to be said. After speaking to people that are now angrily waving black banners as well as US and UK flags, I realized that they know very little about the state of the world, and they do not want to listen to different points of view. When confronted intellectually, they become violent. That is not a democratic approach. Not at all. I suggest we talk publicly. Let's debate the very definitions of democracy. Let's discuss who's done more harm to the world, China or the West. I'm ready, anytime.